At last, you finally said yes. Sis, where are you? Your wedding's about to start. Your future in-laws have been here for a while, and the groom's been looking for you. Where are you? Imagine this, a bride, missing on her big day, leaving everyone in chaos. Stay tuned to Dark Voices to uncover the shocking twist. Christine asked anxiously over the phone, speaking to her older sister, Vanessa. She was almost frantic because it was her sister's wedding day, but Vanessa was still nowhere to be found. Christine had been waiting outside the church for a while now, but the appointed time was drawing near, and all the guests had already gone inside, including the groom and his family. The only one missing was the bride. I'm sorry, Christine, Vanessa said on the other end of the call. Christine grew more worried. Why are you apologizing, sis? Where exactly are you? Aren't you coming here at all? Everyone's waiting for you. Please don't do anything crazy. I'm begging you. Christine pleaded, practically breathless with panic. What could make a bride vanish moments before her vows? Find out as Dark Voices dives deeper into this heart-wrenching tale. I'm really sorry, Christine. Just tell them I can't marry Chase, Vanessa said, referring to the groom. Sis, don't make hasty decisions. Wait, I'll come pick you up. Where are you? You made a promise to Chase. Why are you suddenly changing your mind today of all days? My conscience won't let me go through with it. Christine, I only became Chase's girlfriend for his money. If not for his money, neither Marcus nor I would have finished college. Marcus just pretended to be my gay friend so nobody would catch on that we were dating. I used Chase. And now I've gone too far, and I can't deceive him anymore. Chase is such a good person. So Marcus and I are running away together. He's the one I truly love. You'll have to handle the explanations. There won't be a wedding. I'm counting on you, Christine. Bye. Those were Vanessa's last words before she ended the call. Christine tried to speak again, only to realize her tears were already streaming down her cheeks. She couldn't believe her long-lost sister, newly back in her life, would do such a selfish thing and hurt someone else this way. Christine was 22, and Vanessa was only 2 years older. Inside the church, Mrs. Davis's anxious face could be seen. The wedding was about to begin, yet her son's bride was still missing. Mrs. Davis's heart ached for her son, Chase, who sat quietly waiting for his fiancée. A few moments later, her attention was drawn to her eldest daughter, Linda, who came over and pulled her aside to a secluded corner where no one else would hear. Mom, while we were on our way here, my husband saw Vanessa with another man. She's definitely not showing up. She ran off. We can confirm that she was only after his money. Mrs. Davis's expression darkened at Linda's words. Oh my goodness. I had a feeling about this from the start. I knew that woman couldn't be trusted. My poor son. What do we do? He'll be so hurt when he finds out. He told me before, Mom, if this wedding doesn't push through today, then he won't go through with the surgery he was planning to have. But he desperately needs that surgery. Mrs. Davis turned pale at the reminder. Her son Chase had been blind ever since a car accident 2 years ago. She needed to figure out a solution because she couldn't bear to think he might choose to stay in darkness. Glancing around, Mrs. Davis's gaze suddenly lit up with an idea. Linda, is Vanessa's sister here right now? Yes, Mom. She's outside. Why do you ask? Are you planning to have her fetch Vanessa? No, we need her. She's the only chance we have for your brother to finally see again. Let's look for her right now. I need to talk to her. Whatever you have in mind, Mom, don't worry. I'll support you for my brother's sake. He's suffered enough. Thank you, Linda. After the mother and daughter talked, they left the church to look for Christine, who was still outside. Christine wanted to go in and announce that the bride wouldn't be coming, but pity for the groom held her back. She hadn't met Chase Davis in person, only seen him in photos. Just yesterday, she had reconnected with her sister, Vanessa, who was marrying him, but she hadn't had the chance to meet the groom. Their parents had separated Vanessa and Christine years ago, each of them growing up in different households. That was why they had lost touch. From what she had heard, Chase was blind, which made it all too easy for Vanessa to deceive him. "Excuse me, are you Christine Palmer?" "Vanessa Palmer's sister," said a voice from behind Christine, catching her attention. She turned and saw an older woman she recognized from photos as the groom's mother, accompanied by another younger woman who resembled her, likely the groom's sister. "Yes, I am. Do you need something?" Christine asked politely. "Thank goodness you recognized me, so we don't have to drag you along," Mrs. Davis said, and she and her daughter quickly pulled Christine into their car. Linda drove off immediately. "Where are you taking me, Mrs. Davis? What does this mean?" Christine asked, worried. "You sound just like her, and you look exactly like her. You even have the same height as that gold digger. Fortunately, you won't be hard to dress. Don't worry, you're only going to pay for your sister's sins against my son," Mrs. Davis said from the back seat. Christine's eyes went wide at the woman's words. She couldn't believe they knew everything about Vanessa's deception and were now pinning it on her. "I have nothing to do with whatever my sister did. But I'm sorry Abud by this story? Here's a sneak peek of what's to come. Christine is forced to take her sister's place at the altar, but will she find love or heartbreak? Keep listening to Dark Voices to find out. I'm sorry about it. She only did it because she had a hard life when we were separated. Quiet. I'm not going to hurt you. I'll forgive your sister, too, but only if you help me. I'm sure you're aware of my son's condition. I never approved of Vanessa to begin with, but Chase insisted on marrying her and promised that if we let him, he would agree to surgery for his eyes. In fact, Vanessa was the reason he became blind in the first place. He got into a car accident while chasing after her during one of their fights. Now that she's run off with someone else, I'm afraid he might choose to just live in darkness forever. I can't let my son give up. The pharmaceutical companies we own also need his leadership." Christine swallowed hard. "So, what do you want me to do? If you want me to bring Vanessa back here, I can't do it. My sister won't listen to anyone. No, that's not what you're going to do. We're heading to my friend's boutique right now. We'll get you a ready-made wedding gown. You need to take your sister's place at the altar and marry my son today." "What? What? Come again." "You heard me. You will step in for your sister and marry my son, Christine." It was as if Christine had been doused with ice water. She studied Mrs. Davis's face, hoping it was some kind of joke, but the woman looked dead serious. "I can't do that. I don't even know your son in person. Please pick another way. I'm begging you. I'm still young. I have so many things I want to do." "Then choose. Should I have people hunt down Vanessa and that new boyfriend of hers and send them to jail? Or will you do as I say?" "I can do anything, Miss Palmer," Mrs. Davis threatened. Christine burst into tears right there in the car. She didn't want her sister sent to prison, but she also didn't want to be trapped in something that didn't concern her. By the time they arrived at the boutique, she still hadn't made a decision. A few seconds later, Mrs. Davis gently held her hands, trying to soothe her. "Please, my dear, you're our only hope. I promise I won't go after Vanessa or press charges once this is over. And I'll do everything I can to give you a better future. Just help my son. He's been dreaming of becoming a successful film director, and that won't happen if he's blind. We also need him for our family's pharmaceutical business. If you have big dreams, well, Chase does, too. But he's being held back by love. And I'm afraid that if he finds out Vanessa left him, he might lose the will to live. Please help us. I promise that once his eyes are treated, I myself will find a way to annul the marriage. Plus, I'll give you a substantial amount of money. I don't even know your son. He'll see right through me," Christine insisted. "We'll help you fool him. Please, just agree." Mrs. Davis's pleading eyes finally broke down Christine's last defenses. She decided this must be her destiny, to be the unexpected bride of a blind billionaire. Just as swiftly as they bought a wedding gown that fit Christine, they returned to the church and immediately started the ceremony. "Ladies and gentlemen, here comes the bride," the wedding organizer announced as soft piano music played. Christine's hands trembled as she clutched the bouquet of flowers. She walked slowly toward the groom who was waiting at the altar, her sister's groom. Her eyes stung from crying, but at least she was hidden by the veil. And Chase, being blind, couldn't see her tears anyway. She finally stepped up beside him, staring for a moment before taking her place. "I thought you weren't going to show up, Vanessa," the groom whispered, sounding a bit hurt. Christine felt a sudden chill at hearing his voice, which was deep and slightly husky. "Why would I do that?" "You know I can't," Christine said, imitating her sister's voice and manner of speaking as much as possible. "I've been waiting for this day for so long." "Thank you for not running away," Chase said. "I promise to make our marriage strong and unbreakable like a diamond." "I love you so much, Vanessa." I love you, too," she replied. Christine's heart twisted, already feeling guilty. She could sense how deeply Chase cared for her sister, and he didn't deserve to be fooled like this. But the ceremony continued, despite the ache in her chest. "I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may now kiss the bride," declared the officiant. Christine's lips parted slightly. Chase gently lifted her veil. Now she saw his face clearly. She couldn't believe her sister had managed to betray such a handsome man. Even though he was blind, it felt like his gaze reached directly into her heart. His eyes were a light brown, his eyebrows strong, but not overwhelming, his jaw well-defined. He had a bit of stubble that only added to his appeal, and his nose had just the right shape for someone half American and half something else. Christine's gaze fell to his lips, which looked soft and inviting. She was frozen in place when he leaned in and gently pressed his lips to hers. She felt like she had turned to stone. The applause from the guests thundered in her ears, and she couldn't help feeling sad that her very first kiss had been taken by someone she didn't love. Nevertheless, everyone else was delighted by the ceremony. Fortunately, Christine's acting skills were enough that no one suspected anything. After all, she and Vanessa did look alike. Evening fell, and one of the staff drove the newlyweds to the home they would share. Christine was shocked when she realized it was an elegant mansion, practically a palace. That would have been her sister's home if Vanessa hadn't run off. "I'd like to carry you inside, Vanessa, the way most men do with their brides. But I don't want you to get hurt in case I stumble." "I'm sorry," Chase said ruefully. "That's okay. What matters is we're married now. Come on, let's head inside." She moved to help him, but he gently stopped her. "Hold on to my arm, Vanessa. Let me guide you so you won't trip. Don't worry about me. I might need to help you." "Don't worry," Chase insisted. "I know every corner of this house by heart. All I need to do is count my steps." True enough, as they made their way inside, he navigated flawlessly. Christine was amazed. From what she could tell, you wouldn't even guess he was blind. Moments later, Christine nearly felt blinded herself by the mansion's luxurious interior. The floors gleamed so brightly that she was almost reluctant to step on them. "Do you like it, my wife?" Chase asked. "I had this place built specifically for you. I wanted my bride to be comfortable in our home." Christine blushed at his words, remembering that while it was all just a facade for her, it was reality for him. "If it's just the two of us living here, why does it have to be this big? You must have spent a fortune." "I don't mind. I wanted it this large so our future kids can run around freely. Actually, I'd like to have 6 children, honey," he said happily. She almost choked. 6? That's a lot. Can't we just have 3? Raising kids is tough. Chase laughed. "We're not going to have them one after another. Maybe a 3-year gap in between. By the time we have 6, we'll manage. And the stress is part of parenting. They say the more the merrier, right? You're going to put me through a lot, Chase." Christine felt a pang of amusement and fear. Chase sighed dramatically and then hugged his wife. I'll do everything so you don't have a hard time having them. Even before, I've loved children. They're the most innocent beings in the world. And we'll raise ours well so they won't grow up rebellious. If that's what you want, then I have no choice. But let's stick to 6. No more, Christine said. Yes, dear, he answered joyfully. Don't worry, for a better future for our kids, I'm finally scheduling my eye surgery. Christine drew in a sharp breath. She pulled away from his hug. Really? When? Maybe next week. Once I get my eyesight back, I want to travel to all the different states you'd like to visit. Actually, I'm only interested in seeing the variety of beaches here in the US, Christine admitted. Sure, anything that makes my wife happy, Chase said. Christine was relieved to hear that once he regained his eyesight, her job of pretending to be Vanessa would be over. She could be free again. They went upstairs into the master bedroom. Christine was again dazzled by the luxurious decor, but turned red when she saw the bright red lingerie set laid out on the huge bed. You go shower first, honey, Chase said. Christine shook her head vigorously. No, you go first, Chase. I take forever, and I also have to take off this gown. If you insist, Chase said. As he headed to the bathroom, Christine finally breathed easier. She looked around the room, opened a dresser drawer, and noted that it was stocked with clothing meant for Vanessa. She grabbed a change of clothes, but then put it back. Eyeing the lingerie set on the bed, she picked it up to inspect it and realized it still had the price tag. Over $200. Wow, they really do burn through money, Christine muttered, then laid it back down. On a whim, she checked her phone and searched social media for information about Chase Davis. According to an article, he was 28 and one of the youngest billionaires in the United States. He led his family's pharmaceutical company, which had branches all over the country. Despite his wealth and intelligence, he had done a lot of charity work, helping street vendors start small businesses and paying for children's educations and medical care through the Davis Foundation. Reading all of that made Christine feel even guiltier. He clearly didn't deserve to be tricked this way. A few moments later, Chase emerged from the bathroom in nothing but a towel around his waist. Christine tensed up, seeing the shape of his body. Chase, why are you undressed? She asked, flustered. I forgot to get my clothes from the walk-in closet earlier, he said, smiling. Besides, even if I do get dressed, I'd just take it all off again later tonight, right? She swallowed hard. Why didn't you just bring something in with you earlier? I told you I forgot. Are you embarrassed? He teased. We're married, so even if you don't want to, you'll eventually see all of me, wifey. Stop it. I'm already uncomfortable. Just kidding, he laughed, then disappeared back into the bathroom to let her shower. Christine pressed herself against the bathroom door, feeling her heart hammering. This was their first night as husband and wife, meaning she was expected to fulfill her wifely duties. She felt like crying over the fact that she might lose her innocence to someone she didn't love. Yet, there seemed to be no escape. It was part of the price she had to pay. She showered for a few minutes before stepping out in the red lingerie, reasoning that Chase couldn't see her anyway. She found him sitting up in bed, eyes shut. She cleared her throat to announce her presence. Done already? Come here, Chase said, shifting back against the headboard. Wait, aren't you hungry? We have food in the fridge. I could fix you something. Christine raised an eyebrow. You know how to cook? Of course. Don't you know me? He teased. So, do you want to eat? Christine was tempted to say yes just to delay crawling into bed, but she really wasn't hungry. No, I'm good. In that case, come here. Let's sleep. I know you're tired from all the wedding stuff. Cautiously, Christine climbed onto the bed. The moment she lay down, he pulled the covers over her and wrapped his arms around her, even leaning in to smell her hair. You smell wonderful, Mrs. Davis. Stop it, it tickles. She tried to pull away. I'm sorry, wifey. It's just that even now, I still can't believe you're my wife. Yeah, me neither, she murmured. Feels like just yesterday I was single. Don't worry. I won't restrict your freedom too much, even though you're married to me. I love you so much, Vanessa. I love you, too, she answered, feeling uneasy. They fell silent, and soon Christine's exhaustion caught up with her. She drifted off to sleep without knowing that Chase was smiling tenderly and watching over her until his own eyelids grew heavy. The next morning, Christine awoke to someone gently shaking her. She opened her eyes to see her handsome husband leaning over her, and she couldn't believe how comfortable she'd grown in his arms overnight. Good morning, Mrs. Davis, he said. Wake up. I've been up for a while. Christine sat up quickly. What time is it? She grabbed the bedside clock in alarm. It was already 7 a.m. Why didn't you wake me earlier? I should have cooked breakfast. Wifey, I already cooked for you, Chase said with a slight grin. She found that hard to believe. He was blind, so how had he managed to cook? You cooked? How in the world? I told you I can do a lot as long as I'm in familiar surroundings. Nothing bad happened. I just had to feel my way around. He teased. Kind of like you feeling around my abs last night while we slept. Her jaw dropped, and she blushed. Liar. I did not do that. You can't be sure. He joked. You were such a restless sleeper. You nearly pushed me off the bed. And you snore, too. Let's just go eat, she said, embarrassed. Ooh, I love you even with your snores. He laughed. They went downstairs, and Christine was surprised to see a variety of dishes prepared. She could hardly believe Chase had made them, but he insisted on his resourcefulness. Later, he asked if she'd like to go out. Where are we going? To my company. I want to introduce you to my employees. I never got to bring you there when we were secretly dating. I just want to show you off a bit. And also, I haven't been to the office since I lost my sight, so I kind of miss everyone. Christine silently worried that her act would slip, but she didn't argue. They soon got ready, and he called their driver, who took them to Davis Pharmaceutical, a building so impressive Christine couldn't begin to guess how wealthy the Davis family really was. Maybe they made $1 million a day for all she knew. She was puzzled that Chase didn't like bringing along personal assistants. He just seemed so down to earth, nothing like the spoiled millionaire she expected. The staff greeted them the moment they walked in. Some did a double take upon seeing Chase wearing dark glasses and carrying a white cane for the blind, but they greeted him with warmth and respect. Good day, Mr. and Mrs. Davis, one employee said. Christine felt shy at the sudden attention. Then a tall man approached. He looked flamboyant and wore a flashy outfit. Sir, Chase, finally you're back. You have no idea how stressed I've been here without you. Hi, Bernie. Sorry I was gone so long, Chase replied. Didn't my lawyer fill you in about what happened? You know, I got married, and Mom and my sister Linda have been managing things while I was away. By the way, sir, I'm offended you didn't invite me to the wedding, Bernie pouted. Sorry, Chase teased. Anyway, you know, I'm on temporary leave, but I wanted to introduce everyone to my wife and let you all see my condition, he said, gesturing to his white cane. Bernie, meet my wife, Vanessa. Bernie turned to Christine with a sunny smile. Hi, Vanessa. Nice to meet you. I'm Bernie Sanchez, the most beautiful and fabulous secretary your husband ever had. Christine tried not to feel too guilty. Hi Bernie, nice to meet you, she said, faking confidence. If only she could tell the truth, but she forced herself to keep up the act. Bernie then clapped his hands to draw attention and announced, Listen up, everyone. This beautiful lady is Mr. Davis's wife. So, show her respect in and out of this building. Understood? Yes. The employees responded in chorus. Bernie led them to Chase's private office, riding up the elevator while chattering excitedly. Christine liked Bernie's effervescent nature and tried to laugh along, though her nerves were on edge the entire time. In the office, Bernie offered to order them lunch. No need, Chase said. We're just making a quick visit. We're planning to grab lunch outside afterward. Gotcha. In that case, I'll step out for my break. I need some beauty rest, Bernie joked. Enjoy, lovebirds, and hopefully we'll see you again soon, sir, so you can come back to work. Once Bernie left, Christine wandered over to the large windows that overlooked the city. She could see the skyline from high above, and she was struck by how good it looked. You like the view? Chase asked, coming up behind her and wrapping his arms around her. It's beautiful. I never realized how the city can look so nice from far away. Yeah, I've been admiring that view for years. At least I did until I lost my sight 2 years ago. Maybe after my surgery, I'll be able to see it again, he said. She mustered her courage and asked, by the way, how exactly did you go blind, Chase? I seem to have forgotten, he sighed. Don't tell me you've forgotten the reason already, he said with a sad smile. We've kept our relationship secret since college because my parents had another woman in mind for me. That's why I never introduced you to friends or employees. But eventually, Mom found out about us and tried to force me to marry someone else. I didn't want that, so I decided to elope with you. But when I got to your apartment, I found you kissing another man. Christine's heart pounded, stunned to learn this part of the story. I'm not blaming you, Chase went on. I left your place in tears and got into an accident. A bus lost its brakes. That's why I lost my sight. I already have a donor lined up. But I've been putting off the surgery because for a while I felt life wasn't worth living if I couldn't have you. But then you came back into my life, and I married you. Christine felt tears gathering in her eyes. Yet you still married me. Why? Because I love you, Vanessa. And when I woke up after the accident, I heard your voice apologizing, and it was enough for me to forgive everything. I hardly care that I'm blind. You matter more. Christine felt she could barely stand the guilt. You're being foolish, loving a woman like me. I don't deserve it. He laughed softly. I told you I love you. I can't imagine a future with anyone else. Mom finally gave her blessing for us to get married. So, I promised her I would do the surgery once we tied the knot. I'm so sorry, Christine whispered, tears falling. But now I'm hopeful. I'll see again soon for you, he reassured her. Christine had no words. Before either could say more, Chase's phone rang, and he excused himself to answer. They left the office soon after and went to a fast food restaurant for lunch, one that Vanessa supposedly loved, though Christine had to pretend she shared that taste. But at least he was willing to eat normal fast food with her, which surprised her given his billionaire status. Afterward, Chase took her to a boutique. Christine immediately recognized it as the same one Mrs. Davis had taken her to when they'd purchased her wedding gown. The owner, Mrs. Lilith, greeted them with a bright smile. Chase, please come in. Mrs. Lilith welcomed them warmly. She recognized Christine right away, but she did not let on. How are you, Aunt Lilith? Do you have a boyfriend yet? Chase joked. Oh, hush. The older woman laughed. I've told you I'm not looking to remarry. Now, what can I do for you today? Could you help my wife pick out some clothes? Chase asked. I didn't get her much before the wedding, and I want her to have plenty. That's not necessary, Christine protested. I still have so many clothes at home that I haven't even worn. My dear, you only have a handful that I bought you last time, Chase countered. Let me spoil you a little. If you don't want to wear them yet, just save them for when you do. Christine had no choice. She let Mrs. Lilith assist her in picking out several outfits. When they were alone, Mrs. Lilith spoke quietly. I'm sorry about this, dear. For what? Christine asked. For what my friend Nora Davis did to you. Your sister was at fault, but it was still wrong to make you pay her debts like this. Nora was just terrified that her son would refuse the surgery. It's all right. I know it won't last forever. Chase will eventually see again. That's wonderful, Mrs. Lilith said. I'll pray that it's successful so you can be free. Thank you. After buying clothes, they decided to head home, but stopped at a supermarket first for groceries. The next thing Christine knew, someone she recognized came up to her. "Christine, how have you been? We heard you didn't enroll last semester. If you had, you'd be qualified to take your teaching license exams by now," the young woman said happily. Christine vaguely recalled her from college, but couldn't remember her name. She paled and quickly looked over at Chase, who furrowed his brow at the mention of Christine. "Honey," he said. "Is someone talking to you? Someone's just mistaken?" she blurted, waving the other woman away. The woman seemed confused but eventually left. Sighing with relief, Christine told him, "She got the wrong person, sweetie. I guess I do look like someone else." "All right," he said with a trusting smile. They continued shopping and headed home shortly afterward. The following days passed smoothly enough. Christine tried to help in the house, but most of the time Chase beat her to it. He was astonishingly self-sufficient, cooking, cleaning, making sure everything was in order. She couldn't help but admire him, and that admiration soon turned into feelings she never expected to have for her sister's fiancé. A week later, Christine finally mustered the courage to ask about his eye surgery. But when she overheard him on the phone with his doctor, the news wasn't what she wanted to hear. "I'm sorry, Doc," Chase said, "but I don't want anyone else. I need you to do it. You know, you're the only doctor I trust." "Okay, see you next month, then." He hung up and turned to Christine. "What did the doctor say, Chase? Are you still on for the surgery this week?" she asked hopefully. "I'm sorry, honey. No, he's out of the country right now visiting family in Canada for a month. He's the only one I trust, so I'll wait for him." "But can't you schedule with another doctor? There must be plenty of excellent eye surgeons he could refer you to." He shook his head. "I only trust him. When I was 12, a doctor nearly killed me by prescribing the wrong medication. He was bribed by a business rival. Since then, I've been very picky about who treats me. Plus, a lot of people want me dead because of my family's wealth. It's too dangerous." Christine understood but felt uneasy. She updated Mrs. Davis, who apologized. "I know it's tough, Christine," Mrs. Davis said over the phone. "But we can't make him go to a stranger. I'll help convince him. I just can't keep fooling him like this, Mom." "He doesn't deserve to be deceived," Christine pleaded. "I'm truly sorry, but please hold on a while longer," Mrs. Davis said, sounding contrite. "I promise I'll do everything in my power." Christine sighed, feeling guiltier each day, especially since she was developing deep feelings for Chase. He was kind, devoted, and everything a person could want. Vanessa had never loved him, but Christine did. Yet, she was lying to him about who she really was. One day, Mrs. Davis visited them at home. Christine knew the reason the moment she arrived. Chase met his mother in the living room. "Son, I finally found a doctor trustworthy to perform your surgery. He's an old friend of your late father. Let's schedule you with him, son." "Don't worry, he's really good, and your own doctor knows Dr. John well," Mrs. Davis informed Chase as they sat on the long couch. Christine listened quietly beside her husband. "Mom, I know you can't wait for me to regain my sight, but I've already decided that I'll have the surgery next month when my private doctor returns." "You really can't convince me otherwise." "No, son, I suppose not," she said. "I understand, but please keep your promise." "Okay, I will." "And my wife is also expecting me to keep that promise," Chase added, squeezing Christine's hand. Before Mrs. Davis left, she pulled Christine aside to privately ask her to wait a few more weeks until Chase's doctor returned to the United States. Christine had no choice but to agree to the older woman's request. Christine and Chase continued to live together harmoniously, and Christine felt her feelings for Chase deepen in ways that scared her. She worried about how she might cope when he finally had his sight restored because she realized she would hate to lose him. But then she thought that she might as well enjoy their time together while she could. "Chase, I want us to take a vacation in Hawaii. It's been a while since I last went there," Christine said one day while they were relaxing on the veranda. "Sure. Are you okay traveling before my surgery? Of course. I just figured if we wait for that, it might take forever. Let's just not stay too long. 1 week is enough. So, you really can't wait for our first night, can you, wifey? He teased. That's not it, she protested. I just want to go somewhere. Don't flatter yourself. Chase laughed, and to Christine, he looked even more handsome. Okay, I'm just teasing you, my wife. You're so defensive. Anyway, I'll have our private plane ready so we can fly there tomorrow. Indeed, the next day, they flew to Hawaii, staying at one of the large beach houses the Davis family owned. Once again, Christine was dazzled by her husband's wealth. She'd never imagined she would one day be spending time in a private paradise-like beach home. She was used to ordinary public resorts that fit an average person's budget. Is there anywhere else you'd like to go, Vanessa? Asked Chase, calling her by the name she was still pretending under. They were sitting on the sand, looking out at the ocean and listening to the sound of the waves. They were already in their swimsuits. Anywhere, as long as I can explore, Christine replied. You know, I really love beaches, and this is my first time in a place this gorgeous. Do you come here a lot? Just once in a while, back when I could still see. I never got the chance to bring you because I was busy with work and school. Sorry. It's fine. You're making up for it now. If you love the beach so much, we could live here when my eyes are fixed. I can work from home. I have people at the company to manage things. I never said I wanted to live here. I still prefer New York, even if it's polluted. I'm used to it, and it's more convenient. We'll just come visit whenever we need a break or want to relax. Now, come on. Let's go swimming, hubby. I can't wait. Sure. My wife is really excited to take a dip, huh? Yes, let's go. I'll help you down to the water. Chase allowed Christine to guide him, leaving his cane behind on the sand. Christine felt boundless joy. She wouldn't forget that first day. She owed Chase so much gratitude. And because of that, later that night, she gave herself to her husband completely. Thank you, wifey, Chase said afterward. What happened tonight will remain a precious memory for me. I love you, he added, full of emotion. Christine lay on Chase's sturdy arm, nestled against his chest. It sounds like you've never slept with anyone before, she teased. Chase gave a little chuckle. What's with that jealous tone? What makes you think it's jealousy? She retorted. Guys like you, rich and handsome, can easily pick up women at bars. You must have had plenty of ex-girlfriends. Ex-girlfriends, sure, but I never went to bed with them. We only ever got as far as a kiss or two. Believe it or not, I promised myself I'd only give my whole self to the woman I was going to marry. So, what happened just now was my first time. Wifey, you're my first because I love you very much. That made Christine smile wistfully. If only she really were Vanessa, so she wouldn't have to keep pretending. If only Chase truly loved her and not the sister she was impersonating. But she reminded herself that he was deeply in love with Vanessa. He didn't deserve to be tricked at all. Can love survive a web of lies? The truth is about to unravel, so stay with Dark Voices for the dramatic reveal. The next day, Christine woke up hoping to find Chase still sleeping beside her, but she was alone under the covers. She decided to get up and shower, thinking he might already be in the kitchen cooking, and she wanted to see how a blind man prepared food. Each time she tried to watch him cook, he had always finished by the time she got there. But when she reached the kitchen, the sight that greeted her was far from what she'd expected. Chase was standing at the stove, calmly cooking fried rice while chatting on his phone. It was as if he could see everything. If he truly were blind, she would have expected him to make a mess while stirring. Instead, he was doing it perfectly, not spilling anything. Christine stayed back out of sight and listened. I'm not ready yet, she heard Chase say. Maybe next week. I'll tell her the truth then. I don't want to shock her too much. I don't want her to hate me when she finds out I'm not really blind. Christine gasped at what she just heard, which caused Chase to turn. He looked startled when he saw her standing there. She was every bit as stunned by the realization. "Christine, let me explain," he said quickly. "I thought I was the one deceiving you, but it turns out you were deceiving me." Christine snapped. "You're even better at pretending than I am." "Wow. So, you already know my real name. There's no point in all our talk about you needing an operation if you can already see. No wonder you've never needed my help for your daily tasks. You never once tripped or stumbled. You liar." Christine's voice shook with anger and hurt as she spoke. Chase took a step toward her, but she backed away. Seeing tears in her eyes cut him to the core. "Please, wifey, calm down. I can explain everything," Chase pleaded. "You should have admitted all this right from the start. Do you know how hard it's been for me to impersonate my sister? I'm leaving." Christine turned to go. "I'm sorry." "I was just afraid, Christine," Chase insisted. "I knew that if I told you the truth right away, you'd leave me." "Of course I'd leave you. In the first place, I never should have been in this position. I was threatened and forced to do this by your mother. I lost my freedom. Is this your revenge? Sure, my sister wronged you, but that doesn't make it okay to punish me for it. What about last night? Was that part of your revenge, too?" "Christine, of course not. Yes, I wanted revenge, but not against you. Only against your sister. You're not to blame for what she did. I actually regained my sight a month before the wedding, and I kept it secret so I could find out who Vanessa really was. On the day of the ceremony, I intended to expose her in front of everyone, but she never even showed up. You arrived instead, and the moment I saw you walking down that aisle, my anger toward Vanessa vanished. I instantly fell in love with you, believe it or not. Everything I've shown you over the last month, aside from pretending I was blind, has been real. All of my feelings for you are genuine." Christine heard the sincerity in his voice, and her heart soared, but she also worried it might be a trick. "Why should I believe you? Who falls in love with the sister of the woman who scammed him? Me? I'm that fool. Apparently, why won't you trust me, Christine? Just stop talking, Chase. I know how you rich people operate. You only want a body to use for fun. Since you can already see, I'll tell your mother I'm done. I want my freedom back," she said, turning for the bedroom. Chase hurried after her. "Where do you think you're going?" "I'm leaving. I'm going back to New York. I'm done. Don't forget our marriage is legal." Christine laughed bitterly. "So what? My sister's name, not mine, is on the marriage certificate, so that won't stop me. I'm not letting our marriage go to waste that easily. I have ways to fix that paperwork. I'm Chase Davis. There's nothing I can't do." "Christine, this is insane, Chase. Both of us lied. You pretended, and I pretended. Why don't we just end it?" "No," he insisted. "Let's work it out. Let's live without deception. Live as a real married couple. Vanessa is in the past. I only love you now. Please, let's fix us." Christine stared at Chase's now perfectly functional eyes. Her heart wanted to say yes, but her mind was screaming caution. He was her sister's ex and a billionaire, while she was poor and hadn't even graduated college. She sighed and bowed her head. "I'll think about it. You need to understand how unexpected all of this is for me. I never planned on staying married to you if I had a choice." "I understand. I'll wait for your answer, but please let it be yes," Chase said gently. He moved closer and kissed her forehead, and her heart pounded in her chest. Then he left to give her space. Before going, he brought her breakfast, making sure she ate, and stepped out so she could think in peace. Alone, Christine decided to call Mrs. Davis to report her discovery. "Your son is not blind, ma'am." "I beg your pardon?" Mrs. Davis sounded stunned on the other end of the line. "Yes, ma'am. 1 month before the wedding, he had surgery in secret. He told me so himself. But why on earth did he hide it? It was part of his plan to find out who my sister really was and take revenge. He said he'd confirmed Vanessa was using him. So he went through the wedding with her purely to expose her, but she never showed up. And then I appeared in her place. He says that the moment he saw me, he fell in love and decided to keep pretending so I wouldn't leave him. It's hard to know what to believe. My son said that, Mrs. Davis asked. Then believe him. I know Chase. He doesn't say things he doesn't mean. Don't worry. I have no objections if he truly loves you. He's been through so much heartbreak from your sister. So, please don't add to that. Just trust him. If he said he loves you, he's telling you the truth with all his heart. Those words stayed with Christine. She wanted to believe Chase, but she was still weighed down by fear and guilt. Fear of giving her love away and guilt over what Vanessa had done to Chase. Eventually, the bedroom door opened, and Chase entered again, carrying another plate of food. I know you probably don't feel like coming downstairs yet, but you must be hungry, he said. He set the dish on the bedside table and sat on a nearby chair. I was planning to come up anyway, so here I am. Actually, I was about to come down. I wouldn't want to starve up here, she replied coolly. That's good to hear, Chase said. Still, I'm staying. Chase, please go. I can eat by myself. No, I want to serve you. If you won't let me, I'll just watch you. You're stubborn. Well, so is my wife, he teased. Christine rolled her eyes and started eating despite Chase's stare. Halfway through, he finally spoke. Murder, he said quietly. Christine almost choked on her food. She gulped some water, waiting for him to explain. She guessed he planned to reveal some deeper truth. Murder was what came to mind, Chase said. When I learned the truth behind Vanessa's false affection. Yes, I once caught her kissing someone else, but I forgave her, thinking she wouldn't do it again. Then 4 months ago, people began telling me she was still seeing another man. I was blind at the time, so at first I refused to believe it, but more and more acquaintances confirmed it, so I went to Italy to have surgery. I told Vanessa I was just visiting someone there with an assistant. Aside from my doctor, no one knew I'd had my sight restored. When I returned to the States, I pretended to still be blind, and I confirmed everything people had told me. Vanessa was just using me. It hurt me so much, I actually contemplated killing her and her lover. But I held back. I told myself I shouldn't commit a crime for someone who was just a user. But you still proposed marriage even after you confirmed she was cheating on you? Chase nodded. Yes, as I said, I wanted revenge. In fact, I even bought her the most expensive engagement ring so she'd be thrilled. My plan was to expose her at the wedding itself. But unexpectedly, you showed up instead. When I saw you walk in, my anger at Vanessa vanished. You keep saying that, Christine said. But it's still so hard to believe. After all, your mother and my sister's actions forced me to marry you. I had my lawyer follow my mother and yours out of the church, so we'd know exactly what they did to coerce you, Chase admitted. Yes, you're right.